What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, I want to ask you guys, why do you resell? This is a live stream, so let me know if you guys can hear me in the comment section. But let's get straight into it. There are 10 main reasons from me asking people that resell why they resell. And I want to make the most relevant advice, so I want to get an idea of where you guys are at. So the top reason so far for people reselling has been actually to earn extra money. What's up, Ali, Jody? Thank you so much for you guys tuning in. If you guys are just coming to my stream, I appreciate if you guys smash the like button. It really helps people find my channel. But I wanted to ask you guys, why do you resell? Number one reason has been for more spending money, which is actually a little bit surprising to me. Maybe not. People are looking to flip a few things to earn some extra money. Number two is increasing savings. And as you guys know, the number one predictor of being a millionaire is actually saving 14 grand a year on a 70K income and investing that into something like real estate or whatever, stocks, bonds, whatever you fancy. So if you earn 70K a year and you save 14K over the course of your life, you're going to retire with more than $1 million. That's sort of like the lazy approach to investing. But a lot of people resell to increase their savings rate. Number three, pay off debt. Number four, cover expenses. This would be if you're reselling for a job. So if you want to quit and then resell full time, that's a number four reason that from my poll. Number five is to gain new skills. Number six would be to diversify income. Let's see. In the chat, Ken wrote freedom. That is the wrong reason to start reselling. If you're looking for freedom, I 100% do not recommend reselling. Unless you're talking about freedom from your job, it's not a good way to become free. There's a lot of work involved with reselling. So if you're looking for a hands-off investment, I would recommend something that like a franchise or real estate or stocks, not reselling. If you're looking for something that you just do nothing, this is the wrong thing. Number six is diversifying your income. Can you guys see the checklist on the side? I'm trying a new overlay. Just for fun, creative outlet. Some people do it for fun. Number eight, they really want to start a business. Number nine, they're looking for flexible hours. Number 10 is passive income, although this is not passive income. Let's see here. You resell because you promise yourself you will not work for anyone else before you turn 30 years old. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting reason. So you don't have to work for somebody else. That's actually not on here. I would consider that the same thing as covering your expenses, meaning you resell so you can cover your expenses and you don't have to work for somebody else. So I'm going to group that in with number four. Let's see. You personally resell to give your son a better future. That's a little bit vague. That's like saying you resell for happiness, right? Because I would argue you would give your son a better future if you didn't resell and you just got a regular job and got to the top of your field. That has a really, really good chance of providing a really good living for your son. Just reselling, though, historically is not a very good income. Like, they say the average self-employed person only makes $36,000 a year. I'm just being real with you guys. $36,000 a year is not a good future for your kid usually. That's not enough money in the United States. Earning 70K or more is easier to provide for your kid, and that's easier at a job than it is reselling, in my opinion. Let's see. You started reselling for fun, but now you do it full time. You don't like your boss. Oh, that's really good. That's not on this list either, but not having to deal with a boss that sucks. That's like the number one reason people quit jobs. I actually quit my six-figure job because I hated my boss. Before that boss, I had a boss that I would have probably still be working at Lexus if I had that boss. That boss, he actually died at age 52, which is horrible because I was like, I finally found a good working environment, and then he suddenly died. He played golf, had dinner, had a heart attack. Freaking nuts. So yeah, I can imagine that. Getting rid of your boss that sucks, probably a top reason. Here we go. Ken is talking about time freedom. That's very popular. And if you guys don't know, smash the like button. But if you guys don't know, the most popular side hustle is actually e-commerce, whether it be Amazon, Poshmark, Mercari, whatever. E-commerce is the most popular side hustle because you can do it anywhere in the world. Okay, you can work. You can do the laptop lifestyle for sure for reselling. I wouldn't say it's very profitable to do that. Also, I like going on vacation without my laptop. I don't know why people want that. Like that's not true freedom is going somewhere and being able to enjoy yourself and not having to check in. If you bring your laptop, you might as well just work at home because you're not working very effectively. You're not going to go to the club with your laptop and check your sales. I don't agree with that. It sounds ridiculous to me. Greg is asking, do I recommend an eBay store in Terapeak? Yes, I recommend you hardcore spend at least half your time on product research. And that's like the most unpopular advice ever. But if you spend half your time or more thinking about what to sell, you do way better than people who just sell random stuff, because that is just not the best way to approach this. Ozzy is saying paying off student loans faster. Awesome way to do that. Luciana's saying you're reselling to learn markets and marketing stuff. Great. That's in number 5, learning new skills. That's fantastic. Also, I am considering doing this daily as a live Q&A. So I have enough time to offer unlimited unlimited coaching to my Patreon members. But only during certain office hours. So I'm considering doing that, running this live stream every single day, answering as many questions as I can, and people can go back and look at it. Plus, I have a Discord group if you guys want to join it. You can email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. It's on my Patreon page if you guys want to join a Discord group. There's like 1,000 people in there, but about 50 to 100 active people. I know if I was in there every day, there would be way more active people, but I'm not sure. I don't think that you need a Discord group. I have one. I just don't think you necessarily need it. I think you need to start reselling and spend your time listing or researching new products. There's not much more to reselling than that. So don't waste a whole bunch of time in a Facebook group or a Discord group because you don't actually need that. Maritek is saying take vacation anytime without permission. That's cool. I still think that you shouldn't do that. You should take vacation on a scheduled time frame. That way you can get work done. And a lot of people, guys, you don't have anything to look forward to. This is really bad. You need to say that I look forward to doing this on Saturday. So try to get all your work done before Saturday. I know a lot of resellers who never take any time off and they just work really poorly 24/7, 7 days a week, when you should work really efficiently so you can take the rest of the time off. Unfortunately, with reselling, I see a lot of people who let their health go, let their relationships go, let their hobbies go. So what you end up with is you actually had more free time, more hobbies, more friends, and were healthier when you had a job than you are now reselling full time. So you need to be very careful. You have to have a plan when you become full-time reselling. Don't just do it. Don't recommend that. Let's see. Ali is saying she does it for extra cash on top of her real job. Yes, love it. She's saying, let's see, but doing this full time would be awesome. It is awesome, but more awesome if it's not your main income. Trust me on this one. I can't recommend reselling full time. I can't. For most people, they say anyone can do anything. I don't 100% agree with that. I know people who try really hard and still don't make it as a reseller. So I don't want to give people the wrong advice. Jaina says she's reselling to make extra mortgage payments. I love it. We're reading this book right now that if you make a payment every 2 weeks on your mortgage instead of every month, you make 2 extra payments a year, and that reduces your mortgage like something crazy, like 5 to 7 years less, just making those 2 extra payments a year. And people don't even notice paying every 2 weeks versus every month. So that's crazy. Just a little bit of a mental shift. You can pay off your mortgage earlier. I love that. Paul saying he likes thrifting and would like to work for himself and increase his earnings. He would also like to start a 10 by 10 by 10 slowly. Perfect. Okay, 10 by 10 by 10, in my opinion, is not a full-time job. It's because when you're researching a brand new niche, it's not linear. You don't say, okay, I want to sell light bulbs and then go find one and then list it on eBay and it sells 10 times a day for $10. It doesn't work that way. It's like you research light bulbs, then you figure out which light bulbs you want to focus on, find out where they come from, slowly sell a few here and there. That takes a long time. It can take 6 to 8 months to get one by 10 by 10 started. It takes a long time. So there's two models. I have two goals. For you guys listening in the chat right now, put in here, there are two things that you need to do, in my opinion. You need a cash flow store. And for me, that's a 200 items a week at $20 profit. And then your 10 by 10 by 10. I have more than 10 replenishable products, and they don't all sell. Some sell more than one time a day. Some sell one time per week. Some sell one time a quarter. Like they're not very good. It's not linear. 10 by 10 by 10 is not linear. What's up, Adventures in Reselling from Hawaii? Greg is saying to pay off credit card debt. Awesome. Let me know in the chat what reason you are reselling. I think you guys can see the reasons, right? I think I already asked that. Do I relist items? Okay. There are some skills that are involved with reselling, and you need to be, I'm calling it certified. You need to be certified in reselling if you want to take this seriously. And what does that mean? Product research, you need to be able to identify things that will sell for how much. You need to know how to list items, how to photograph items, how to ship, how to store, how to do bookkeeping, how to do accounting, how to file your taxes. But then here's a really good one, which is you need to have the ability to maintain your items. And part of that is going in for regular maintenance and adjusting the prices, relisting new photos. That's part of the process with reselling. Victoria is saying for vacation money. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. Flip Your Dollar is saying his job is $150K a year, and it's not what he enjoys, but he does enjoy this. It could be a he, it might be a she. I agree with you. If you earn $150K a year and you can save 60, I know that's not easy with a family, but if you can save 60 grand a year, it only takes 10 years to become a millionaire. If you invest and you earn 6% in the market, that's not very long. So I like that. I know that this is like okay, if I'm saying if you find a way to save $1,500 a week, you can become a millionaire in 10 years. To me, that's inspiring. To some people, they're like, I hate you. I can't even earn $1,500 a week. How can I save $1,500 a week? But the thing is, that's way more realistic than saying, think of an app and then a million people download it. That's much more unrealistic. If you get in the top 20% of your field, whatever it is that you do, you get really good at something, you can earn $150K and save half of it and have $1 million in 10 years. Jody says the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. I agree with that, but I mean, real estate does the heavy lifting for most of the people. What's up, Tommy? Yeah, if you guys could hit the smash button. If you guys could like the smash button, that would be awesome. Shazad is in the chat. Shazad does a lot of wholesale. That is a model where you can sell a lot of the same item, but again, Shazad will tell you firsthand, it is not passive income. It requires a lot more maintenance. When you're selling one-off items that you pay very little for and sell for a lot, those are a lot less maintenance. I know. I put people resell for passive they put that as the reason they do it, but it's not true passive income. Let's see. You've been off for 2 weeks and keep getting sales messages. Yeah, I mean, reselling is okay. Here's the thing: if you only sell one-off items, and this is stay-at-home girl quoted me on Instagram. If you only sell one-off items, when you take a break, your business takes a break. That sucks. You don't want to be in the position where you have to list every day for the rest of your life. You slowly want to pepper in things that sell every day and work on replenishables. And I am going to offer some new programs for Patreon, but I know how to do this, guys. What you need to do is you pick a goal, you pick a niche that you want to sell in, then you need to make a schedule, and your schedule needs to equal your goal. So my schedule, to give you guys an idea, which I am probably going to live stream them, is wake up at 5:40, Actually, I'm going to wake up at 5 next month because I'm going to do swimming in the morning. So swim in the morning, come home, have a cup of coffee, do my mastermind call, answer emails. From 8 to 12, I'm going to work on my one-off store, which is selling stuff, 20, ideally 40 items a day. Then the second half of the day, I'm going to work on replenishables. In my group, there's a new idea, which is really cool. And if you guys like this idea, put like in the comment or something. Actually, don't worry about it. The idea is don't list until you have 10 of the same item, so you're not wasting a lot of time on context switching. This is my opinion. I think there's some research to back this, but I don't know where that research is. Each time you change categories or you switch tasks, it takes you 20 minutes to recover and get used to that activity. So if you're like swimming and then you want to, jump to reading a book, your body has to acclimate when you switch activities. So most people are destroying their productivity by constantly switching what they're doing, checking their Facebook, checking their email. So actually in the month of November, you guys are welcome to take this challenge with me. I'm not doing any social media. I am debating whether or not I want to even answer YouTube questions just for a month. I already deleted Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't even have them. So I won't be doing any social media in November at all. And I'm going to be working 4 hours, 7 days a week listing. I personally would like to list $16,000 worth of profit next month and live stream the entire thing. That's my ideal goal. Do that. And my wife is on board. She's going to be helping me for some of those sessions, which is really cool. So the idea is in my one-off store, I'm okay to share with you guys what I'm selling because they're more rare and unusual. But the items that are replenishable, I'm going to keep up to myself. But I want to be inspiring and then also realistic for people. Tommy started reselling because the chicks dig it. You know what? Chicks, I think now, if you're going to call them chicks or women, I think they are thinking that financial stability is more sexy now. I did a poll on Instagram, like how many women would enjoy a man using a coupon on a first date? And it was like 50-50. I thought maybe it would be worse. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you would prefer a coupon on a first date or a really expensive dinner. Because there's some pretty good realizations you can make there. If the guy whips out a coupon on the first date versus taking you to a really expensive dinner, that's two totally different financial futures for you. Let me know if you prefer coupon or expensive dinner for the first date. Shazad is revising 20 to 30 items a day. That's awesome. Some people don't revise their listings ever. Every single listing is set it and forget it. And that's not the good way to do it. Ken is already making a full-time income. Awesome. You are not the norm, though. Most people can't make it. So hopefully you have at least 10 grand in savings so that you can survive. Greg is saying eBay charges a percentage based on category. Yes. Depending on your category, they're going to charge different fees. If you list in two categories, there's two different. There's an additional cost for a second category, but only one final value fee. Bridget is saying you're a hobby seller and you love it. Yes. That's the way to be. I love it too. What's up, Swamp Picker? You hate social media. You'll do it with you. You can't quit YouTube. Yeah, I'm not going to watch any YouTube in November. I'm going to make YouTube videos, but I'm not going to watch any for the whole month. And instead of listening to input, I'm not going to listen to any input. I'm just going to listen to content on learning to speak Cantonese because I want my kid to be bilingual. So I want to learn Cantonese because I think Cantonese is the coolest Chinese language. Mandarin is okay. Maybe it's more useful, but I like Cantonese because I'm a big fan of all the Hong Kong gangster movies. Cantonese sounds really cool. And also, most e-commerce is done in the lower half of China. And the lower half of China, they speak Cantonese. Everyone speaks Mandarin, which is the main language, but Cantonese, it just sounds really cool to me. It'd be like if my kid could speak Russian. Russian just sounds really cool to me. So I'm going to be listening to Cantonese and learning that instead of content on reselling. Because at this point, I already know how to do it. It's just doing it. Bridget is saying she would rather have an expensive dinner. I don't know if you want to have an expensive dinner or a coupon. I don't know. Tommy says smart women would love the frugal. Yeah, I think so. I think it's nice to go to a nice dinner, but maybe both. Maybe a nice dinner with a coupon. Greg says maybe a coupon on a third date. Good with either. Good with splitting. That's cool. Let's see. Tech Lead would say the coupon. See, Tech Lead's an interesting guy because I feel like I know a lot of programmers because I live in Silicon Valley, and they don't understand human behavior because they think humans should be rational. And that is a horrible way to keep a significant other. Because significant, like in an argument, the person that feels like they're right the most usually wins, even if they're wrong. And Tech Lead is like an analytical dude. Like he just had a divorce, even though he's a millionaire. And like his wife didn't want to live with his in-laws, which makes sense to me, right? And if you had the means to purchase a home with your wife and alleviate her not wanting to live with your in-laws, why wouldn't you do that? And then she threatened to leave, and so he got her an apartment that was $4,000 a month, which is just like a standard nice place in the Bay Area for an apartment. And he's like, I consider this like a $50,000 gift to my wife, and she still left and took my kid. And I'm like, bro, are you that dense? She wants to like build a life with you, look for a home together and do that. How like, and you're considering it a gift. It's not even really a gift. You guys theoretically share assets. So like the way he looked at it was so beyond me. Like he looked at it like a robot instead of like a human. Like his wife didn't want to live with his in-laws. So his solution to that was, I'm gifting you an apartment we can live in. He's super duper odd. But that type of thinking has gotten him to the point where his YouTube channel makes $18,000 a month in AdSense. That's ridiculous. Okay. Like he obviously understands how to make money. For him, he considers $18,000 a month beer money. I think that's very funny. He's a really very funny, dry humor individual. But again, like that's not how you treat relationships. Ratishma says she's in Okinawa, Japan right now and can't start selling. That's why e-commerce is the most popular side hustle in the world, because you can start. You have to do drop shipping, and you don't have to go the traditional route of selling like Home Depot or Walmart on the eBay or using from site to site. You can actually use a fulfillment center, meaning you buy something that's underpriced, send it to a fulfillment center. They either send it in Amazon for you, or there are some new companies that fulfill for eBay. Let's see. Jody says that he'd love to learn Japanese since he's half, but there's no way in hell you have the time. You do have the time to learn. There was a story of this guy he had a TED Talk. He learned how to speak German without his family knowing, just on his commute. And then he took his family to Germany and he spoke fluent German and blew his kids' minds. Like, I want to do that. That's super duper cool, being able to get to that level. Yeah, I'm not going to watch Beat the Bush's videos for a whole month. I'm not going to do it. But I will see him the first week of November because he's having a meetup at Costco. So I'll see Francis next month, but I'm not going to watch any of his videos for 30 days. He's a really cool kid. Also, the Family Flips is on. I am open to doing some more calls with other influencers. So if you guys want to do some scheduled calls with me, video conversations, I would love to do that, but I don't want to only do one. We have to do a series of some kind. So if you guys want to start doing stuff together, just email me, chris@dailyrefinement.com. We'll set up a series of calls. I don't like doing one-off stuff, replenishables all the way, even with YouTube. Tommy is saying, have I looked at selling on Instagram directly? Absolutely. That girl that was on my show, Alexis, she does $10,000 a month in high school on Instagram. And I love it. The way that she markets herself is so cool. Basically, she has a storefront, tags all the relevant keywords for that brand. She models everything, kills it. So I love selling directly on Instagram. Soldier of Truth is saying, you've been selling for a few years. Your main goal is to become self-employed with profitable eBay income. Great idea. You need to get a certain amount of listings up before you can have stable income, though. Just keep that in mind. Do I consider YouTube viable as a side hustle for full-time resellers? Yes. YouTube definitely works if you put some time into learning the keywords, and put your time in the collaborations. I'm not trying to actively grow my YouTube channel. If I was, I would be on a lot of different people's channels, getting all of those cross-pollination into my audience. But I'm currently not doing that. I'm just doing YouTube for fun. Am I being affected by the glitch? There are a lot of glitches on eBay. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. To the point where a lot of people are not selling on eBay anymore. In fact, there's a drop shipping account. There's a lot of automation happening right now on eBay for new products. If you want to sell your eBay account, email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. There's a drop shipping company that's buying them because they want one eBay account for every category. And they pay based on how old your account is. Feedback doesn't matter because, as you guys know, there are people with thousands of negative feedback. It doesn't affect anything. It's just the age of your account. So if your account's been active, it's a couple of years old, email me. They'll make you an offer on it. There's a lot of glitches. That's why I don't recommend only selling on one platform. YouTube can be passive income. Yeah, that's true. If you release evergreen content, you can do a really good job too. Like I have a video that's like how to ship a hat. It makes like $2 a month. That's amazing to me that I made that like 2 years ago and it still makes $2 a month because 14 people look for it and watch the whole video and watch 2 ads because they want to know how to ship a hat. So that, yeah, I don't think it's a viable side income. It takes a lot of time. Let's see. For example, people that release Photoshop. Yeah, absolutely. Do-it-yourself videos are timeless. Like how to wash dishes. That video has like 5 million views and it's really useful. Yes. So Nina is saying she uses Memorize. I just downloaded it. I'm super excited to try it. Let's see. Where in New York did I live? I lived on the Upper West Side. And yes, I only sold on eBay when I lived in New York City for the most part. I worked at a bank and I sold sneakers on the side. I lived on the Upper West Side. I walked to 125th Street and bought sneakers to resell every single day. And I actually got fired from my job for receiving packages. So I was doing online arbitrage, receiving between 5 and 10 packages a day at work. And I got fired for that because it was distracting the other people at work. I didn't look at the packages until after work. And I didn't have a doorman in New York City. So I'm like, why can't I ship the packages here? I'm not looking at them during work, but it was distracting people because they would walk by the reception and there would just be, 10 boxes there. And people every day would be asking the receptionist, what are these boxes? And I didn't have a package receiving service near my apartment. So that was kind of a disaster, but I've been selling on eBay for a long time. Nice. Tommy hit 1,000 subs today. Congrats. Greg, auctions, I wouldn't worry about it. Most of the bids happen in the last hour. Awesome, Flip Your Dollar. Thank you for putting me in the list of people you follow. I appreciate that very much. I'm taking my YouTube channel very seriously, but not as a stream of income. I'm just doing it. It does earn me money, but I'm not doing it to earn money. If I was doing it to earn money, I would do way more collaborations because that's how you blow your YouTube channel up. I think the first 2 months I did YouTube, I got 10,000 subscribers from just being on every single reseller channel. But that's a lot of work, and I would rather resell. See, that's a good question, or that's a good effect. Like somebody asked, like how much an eBay account is worth. Not much, because it's like the ability to get feedback by just buying feedback is not very expensive. So, I was looking at, let's see, there's an electronics guy that got 5,000 feedback on his eBay account in a month for like $1,000. He was able to get 5,000 unique feedback, and that's a lot, right? So the main thing is how old is the account, because if it's older than a year, you get different kind of permissions. Let's see. Yes, Junior is saying Ray as the entrepreneur is fully transparent on how YouTube works. A lot of people are transparent on how YouTube works. I'm transparent on how YouTube works. I'm starting to recognize that 10-minute videos that are really to the point scale a lot better. Like I'm putting I would say in the reseller niche, there's a couple of channels that kill it. One is Rally Roots. One is Hustler Hacks. Glenn does a great job. Reyes, the entrepreneur, talks about reselling a little bit, but he has recognized that and reselling is not a good niche. He even says in that video that he doesn't make eBay reselling videos anymore because there's not enough of an audience. I 100% agree. It's not like other niches. If I were going to redo a channel, I think I would actually go towards the food model. I'm going to experiment. I'm trying to put together a proposal for Amanda Weiss. She's the Poshmark lady that does the stories. I would love to make a cooking channel for her and try 8 or 10 episodes and see if it works. But I wouldn't pick reselling. Like, if you go back and watch Reyes' videos, he explains exactly how much the videos make and how poorly the eBay ones did, even though they're over 100,000 views. Like, he made them go viral. They still didn't perform that well compared to other ones because it's kind of boring. Let's see here. 140 and 33 likes. Yeah, let's get that like count up. Let's see here. Oh, Joe's saying he'll do some videos with me from the family flips. Let's do it. Look at that, Shazad. The last 31 days, over 100,000 pounds in sales. Killing it, bro. Let's see. Alex is saying, do I like Depop? I sold a bunch of Supreme on Depop. Depop is great. I love Depop. It's not my favorite platform because it's really mobile heavy, and I'd rather not use mobile if I can, because computers are much faster. See, Shazad he gets 3,000 feedback a month. This is why feedback is not that valuable. Let's see. You don't have Mercari. Awesome. Yeah, Mercari's not everywhere. Poshmark's now in Canada. Reyes is also dipping into a lot of different niches. Yes, Reyes is really smart. I actually drove down and met him. And he's a really, really, really nice guy. Very genuine, transparent on how YouTube works. Talks about how brand deals. I got my second brand deal, but I haven't. I'm trying to figure out how to do a better job this time. Skillshare is a sponsor, but they are not renewing my brand deals with them. I actually want Audible, Skillshare, and Squarespace. I want those 3 sponsors. Skillshare gave me a chance, but didn't renew because I didn't do a good enough job. The next one that actually signed an agreement with me is Dashlane, the password service. So right now, I think I have 181 passwords on the different sites that I use. I need to go make a tutorial on how I manage that because it's kind of ridiculous. So the different platforms, plus I have multiple accounts on every platform. So there's a lot of passwords to manage. So that partnership should work. How YouTube works for the big guys is they pay you X amount of money to do a video. So for me, it's between $100 and $300 per video is what a company would pay to sponsor the video. And how it would work is I would say, hey guys, welcome to my show. Today's episode is sponsored by this company. And it'll really help me out if you guys check out the link in the description below and try out their service. That's the classic pitch for it, right? Even better would be, I actually use this product and whatever. I've basically turned down every single product deal that I don't use because it's not a good fit for my channel. And you should do that as a YouTube creator. Like, I get a ton of free lighting kits, and they all suck. So like I have a graveyard of those at my shop. But if there was an actual good one, then I would recommend that, but I don't. I recommend those Savage lights, the ones I use, because they're awesome, and they are expensive though, but it's just like that one lighting kit has got me through tens of thousands of items. Daniel said that his local thrift store closed down for remodeling. Yeah, I have a similar store that I go to that's also being remodeled right now. Alex says she's doing well in Poshmark Canada. Awesome. Craigslist Hunter and Scavenger's Life. Yeah, I really like Craigslist Hunter. Pete's a great guy. Scavenger Life is awesome too. And they have one of my favorite eBay models, which is buy low and just list high and just build a gigantic store and live somewhere cheap. I really like Scavenger Life. They're doing it right. What kind of prices are they offering on eBay stores? Oh, yeah, I've seen between 50 and $500 for what people are selling their eBay stores for, depending on the age. There are some that are like over 10 years old with really consistent sales, and the people are done with eBay. They don't want to sell anymore. Those accounts get the most money. You could probably charge more than that if you had that type of account that was active. And the process is you just basically change entities, sign an agreement. Let's see. Shazad would take eBay over Amazon. Me too. I'm only selling on Amazon with with products that I have the rights to distribute or used books. Those are the only two categories that I do. eBay has had some issues lately. They have had issues since they started, but they still are the top traffic for pre-owned, and they do just fine. Notice how eBay is not worried. You know, I made that video saying I was breaking up with eBay, and I picked a clip where the person didn't care. That's how eBay is at. They have literally 1 billion listings. They don't need more sellers. Okay, they need more buyers. They're spending all of their time focusing on that, and eBay is doing just fine. Did you miss the whole chat? No, there's still... I don't know if... The chat should reload. Marnie says that she loves the light in the back. Awesome. Yeah, no, I can change it. There's like 120 different colors I can change it to. Yeah, Reyes is super dope. I followed him probably at 30,000 subscribers. Now he has like 300,000 subscribers. He's ridiculous. Hey, Maya says she wants to sponsor me to buy stuff from her store. Maya could start a YouTube channel and people would buy from her store. If you are an attractive female, you will definitely sell stuff from your store if you have a YouTube channel. That's just how it is. There's a few influencers I talk to that have up to a 25% boost in their eBay store from talking about it on YouTube as a female. I don't know any guys that have that kind of conversion. Let's see. Thank you, Jody, for the super chat of $2. Much appreciated. Can you track a USPS letter without a tracking number? Great question. No, you cannot. So you probably won't be able to get the top rated discount because you won't qualify because not enough percentage of your items will have tracking. So I recommend don't screw up your main store. Have 2 stores, one that ships by stamp, no tracking. The one with tracking, you can still get the top rated discount. You're in Australia and you only have eBay, Amazon, and Facebook Marketplace. You also have Gumtree. What is your Craigslist called? But to give you, I mean, Australia is crazy because it's a country that has less people than California. It's insane. We'll talk about USPS. USPS, I can tell you what I think of USPS. Their rates are going to go up every 6 months, so just be careful. That's my thoughts on USPS. Don't freak out and have a 6-pack and 2 cheeseburgers each time they change their rates and drown your sorrows. Just accept that it's going to go up every 6 months. I know, right? No, I mean, I give older people a hard time because I read this article saying that once you're over the age of like 32, you won't change unless something traumatic happens in your life. So I would say something like, once you're 40, it's a wrap. And it would trigger people and they'd be like, it's not a wrap, I can still do this. And then they would go do it and then mission accomplished, right? Like, I don't actually think people over 40 can't accomplish things. Like that's silly. That's like when Logan Paul was talking about how he triggers people, he went on to CNN and said, I'm the fastest man in the world. And he's like, there are like elementary school kids that are faster than him. But what it created was like 17,000 people were talking about that. Right? So that's why sometimes I say things to trigger people into doing things. Although, you know, I don't necessarily need to do that, but I do find it interesting that some people afterwards will be like, oh, snap, like he did that on purpose. Kevin says he lost 25% of his sales because he's ugly. That's not true, Kevin. That's not true. They can't see your face. Unless you're putting your face as the default picture, then I would expect your sales to go down at least 25%. Yeah, Lonnie is killing it. Okay, that's true. I don't think Lonnie sells 25% of his stuff on his eBay store. Come on now. It's not 25%. Lonnie does do a great job. Garage flips. He does a great job of YouTube. He ranks really well. His videos are really clear. I don't know what he's filming on, but it looks awesome. Lonnie has a really good YouTube channel. What's up, reseller down under? It's not 25% of his sales. If it is, great job, Lonnie, because that's not easy. Yuri, thank you for the $2 super chat. I sourced on 125th Street in New York City. I sourced at the 59th Street Nike Town. I also sourced at 21 Mercer Street. And then I also sourced at just basically anywhere in Soho when there was a hot release. New York is a really cool place to source because you can get the stuff that's only released in New York and it's worth a ton of money. Also, the Real is a really cool place to shop because their discounted goods are a good opportunity to come up. And if you want to look at stuff that resells for over $500, that's a really good store to visit. If you guys live near New York, go to the Real store and look at how they price things. If you guys are at home, go onto the realreal.com, get a look at the stuff that they sell. Let's see. If you had the charisma, you'd do YouTube. I think YouTube does require some charisma, but it's not totally required because Mr. Beast is the largest YouTuber and he has a monotone voice like me. He's not super exciting, but he has really good thumbnails, really good titles, and really good premises. Like I said, he spends 50 hours thinking about what video he wants to make, and then the rest of it is made by other people. When you are at that level, you're just going to produce really good quality. Gina is saying that it's mentally exhausting to switch to different categories. So guys, this is one of my favorite sayings, which is there's a 20-minute penalty mentally each time you switch something. So just do one thing until you're done with that before you switch to the other. This has helped me even at home. Completely finish vacuuming before doing something else. Finish all the dishes, wipe off the counter and the stovetop before doing something else. You're already in that area, knock out the whole thing. Let's see. Increasing your selling limits drastically changed your sales. It shouldn't. Wow, so Meritech looked it up. There's only 24 million people in Australia and 40 million in California. Good God. That's insane. Catherine says she started reselling at age 65. See, there's also a lady that called me that was 71 and we listed her first item together on the phone. It's not, there's an age is only a number. I just said the over 40. The only people that were offended by that statement, the people who were offended it might have actually worked. They may have actually, it might have lit a fire under them when I said that. You feel like you're not as quick now as you age. I feel the same way. When I look at like TikTok, I'm trying really hard not to fall behind the times. I'm trying to learn how TikTok works, at least understand how it works. Maybe not be proficient at it, but I don't want to be left behind. There's so many new things happening. I want to at least know how they work. Right now, I am keeping the Travis Scott Air Jordan 6s, but maybe I'll resell them later. Someone says the bins in Queens are awesome. Awesome. BG Sims has been selling for 20 years and still at it at age 77. Kudos. Maybe a YouTube channel with no face. Unboxing videos do really well when you're looking at it. But again, you don't have to have charisma. You just have to have good content. Good content is often just informational. I'm not that exciting. I don't have tons of I don't have a lot of jump cuts. But if I wanted to, I could easily earn $10,000 a month from YouTube. I know how it works now. I understand you want to get your brand, and $10,000 a month is $300 a day. The way I would do that is I would get brand deals for at least 2/3 of that. I would just email brands trying to get deals to come in so I could earn $200 a day from making the video. There's $6,000 guaranteed. Then I would have a little bit of merch. Right now, I'm not really doing that. I would have a little bit of merch and I would be way more crazy in my videos. I'd make them way more entertaining. And that's how you could grow to like $10,000 a month if it was all brand deals. And brands will pay more for the DIY evergreen videos. So like how to wash dishes, you could get a really good brand deal for that because that's going to be watched forever. Julianne just started reselling at 56. Guys, the most popular side hustle is e-commerce. Okay, so e-commerce is the number one side hustle because it's not BS. All you have to do is find something and then resell it online on any platform. It's real. You don't need to pay some BS multi-level marketing thing. They're scamming a lot of older people right now with all these get-rich-quick garbage things. Reselling is not get-rich-quick, but it's making money consistently. In California, there's much higher cost of living. True. Here, for in like a nice one bedroom in San Jose or San Francisco, you're talking $4,000 a month. The apartment that tech lead got for his wife and family, just an average apartment, nothing totally crazy. Nice, but like nothing crazy. You can easily spend $10,000 a month on rent if you want to live fancy here. That's just for rent. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, keeping up with the chat is pretty awesome. Let's see. Most people have no idea that subs and views mean nothing. Exactly. The retention time is really important. Although I will say that my most watched videos are not these long videos. I don't do these long videos that often. I'm starting to do them more often now because I enjoy doing the Q&A. But the short videos that are really good pay really well because people watch the whole thing and YouTube really likes that. Let's see here. Drew. Wait, who is Drew? Don't know who Drew is. Let's see. YouTube boils down to either information or entertainment. Yeah, that's true. Information and entertainment always do well. That's why there are some videos that combine both, like the valuetainment concept. Very good. Let's see. Look, Mom, I'm hustling. Maybe that's true. Shopify is bigger than Poshmark. You know who's bigger than Poshmark? The top 10 FBA sellers on Amazon. The individual companies are bigger than Poshmark. The store that I did a review on, Pharma Packs, that one company does more sales than Poshmark. The 7 million people who sell on Poshmark sold less than one company on Amazon. That's freaking scary. Sean says Lyft and Uber are the largest side hustle. Not true, because not everybody, we're talking about worldwide. You can only do Lyft and Uber in cities that have Lyft and Uber. E-commerce is way bigger. I think I just watched a video saying 19 out of every 20 side hustles are reselling. 19 out of 20. Will I be getting into real estate investing? Definitely. That's the whole purpose of my life right now. I mean, it seems like, okay, they say that if you are, you want to earn, what is it, the 4% rule? So if you want to earn, I did the math on like an 80,000, they say you're happier until you make $80,000 a year. And after that, if you're unhappy, then you're doing it wrong. You should be able to be happy, making 80 grand a year. So the 4% rule would mean you need $2 million worth of asset producing capital, right, to earn $80,000 a year. At that point, you should be good. So theoretically, if you could come up with 400 grand down payment on a $2 million place and just wait till it pays itself off, if you figure out how to hack it so that the rent covers the mortgage, then you just need 400 grand accumulated to buy that piece of property and wait for it to, the principal to be close to zero. And you could, that's like looking at real estate investing as in like you take the money out, what is it called? The cash out refinancing to get a new property. That's really interesting to me and really cool. But, once you decide that you're going to, okay, there's a couple of things. If you decide to, right? This is a G-Shock watch. If you decide to live frugally, then you get a lot of really good time back because I feel like if you buy expensive stuff, you need to spend a lot of time earning the money to pay for it. If you don't do that, you have more time to learn a skill, which can turn into more money. And then it's super weird. The people who don't have anything and just spend all their time on skills have way more money than they can even spend. But at that point, they already have the habit of using their time to learn things instead of buying things. So the richest people are like usually very minimalist in what they do. I'm not talking about, they don't necessarily have cheap stuff. I know a lot of rich people who also have millions of dollars worth of stuff. It's just not taking up a lot of their mental capacity. They're just buying it if they want it. They don't spend a lot of time on it. You need to learn Amazon, but you find it intimidating. Yeah, a lot of people are less likely to sell on Amazon, so I feel like it's a better opportunity for most people because most people sell on the smaller platforms. What software do I use for bookkeeping? I have my own software, and I use 1-800-Accounting for both bookkeeping and total accounting, and they file for me. Crypto Lock, what's up? Balta says, I can't work more than a few hours at a time. Yes, that is also a thing. There's a lot of people who physically cannot work a regular job. So e-com is their only option. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're older. My friend Jack Pittman, he was like 20 years old and found out that he wouldn't be able to work a physical job. He was confined at home because he was super sick. So he learned about drop shipping as a means to earn money. Luckily, Jack recovered and now he's okay. But for people who physically can't work a regular job, that happens. Let's see here. Yeah, I have a video that went to 300,000 on TikTok, but the engagement was only 10,000 comments. So the views seem awesome, but you need the engagement. I think that's probably pretty good. 10,000 comments on 300,000 views. That sounds like a lot of engagement, actually. The more money you make, the more you spend. That's not necessarily true. I know lots of people who spend the same amount of money. There was a real estate developer that I met that was living on 18 grand a month. Okay, that's a lot, but he kept his spending on 18 grand a month, even though now he's earning $600,000 a month after tax. He didn't increase this 18,000. He actually gives the rest to charity. His family just lives on 18,000 a month, and they donate 100% of the extra earnings to charity. But that guy is still growing his income each month because he wants to have a greater impact. So I think I meet lots of rich people who are actually very nice. So I don't know. I don't think you can, you need to respect people who are really good at what they do. I don't think that all rich people are greedy. That's nonsense. Wow, there's actually a lot of comments. Can I talk more about replenishable items on eBay? Oh yeah, Jeff, that's exactly my model. I originally was 10K on the Bay, trying to be 10,000 one-off items, and I switched to replenishables. And the way that you approach that is you keep your one-off store. So to give you an idea, I want my one-off store to stay at 2,000 items while I build the 10 by 10 by 10, which is 10 items that sell 10 times a day for $10 profit. That can take like 10 years or more. So I'm patient, and the way I'm doing it is a separate store. In fact, on Amazon, it's its own separate account, because ideally I want to be able to sell that account to someone as a separate entity. So it's totally a different operation. If you're trying to do replenishables on eBay, I recommend pre-owned replenishables, not new. If you're going to sell something brand new, learn how to make it rank on Amazon where there's a lot more traffic. eBay works okay, but I'm just saying, for the long haul, you're going to be able to sell an Amazon business for way more. That's how I would approach it. Pick one product, get really good at it. I would make a separate store. Ty Oz is saying, if you guys want to exchange information, you can do it on my chat, or you can email me, chris@dailyrefinement.com, and try to reach out to somebody else. I'll try to find them for you. Looking to step up the shoe game. Yeah, Bill, right now what I am doing and spending all of my time on is learning how to buy 40 shoes inbound every single day. That's my entire existence right now. The local supply for me has been tapped out a long time ago. When I look at how many shoes are for sale, guys, smash the like button and try this. Whatever category you are in, type it into the search bar on eBay, go down and do a local search. Click low or nearby only and put in 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles. You'll be able to see how many resellers live in your area. I would guess there's no less than 10,000 resellers who live within 50 miles of me. I do not want to source locally. It's just not going to work. I want 40 pairs of shoes to come to me. So the way that I would suggest doing that, make a list of shoes that you want to buy online and then figure out a really good way to filter those results every single day. That is the only way. That is the future. People are building robots for that. That company that wants to buy the eBay accounts is looking to list between $100,000 and $250,000. I'm sorry, between 100 and 250,000 listings, all automated. That's crazy, right? So something pops up on Home Depot for $20 and it's selling for $50 on Amazon. It's immediately automatically buying it and sending it in. It's like, psh, awesome. West Coast Hustle is saying it's a bad time for real estate. I agree. It's a good time to save money for that. Tim is saying, do I have any tricks to boost your turnover rates? Yes. Most of it has to do with which items you're picking. So the best way to do it is to spend more time sourcing and less time listing. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the more time you spend studying the market, the easier it is for you to make money. It's not the opposite. You don't make more money reselling by listing more. That's usually only works in the beginning part. Once you run out of time, you don't have any more time. But you can add a replenishable, meaning item A starts selling, look for item B. But don't look for item A, B, C, D, E, and F at the same time. You'll never get good enough at it. You have to do 10 by 10 by 10, one at a time. I should probably make a video called 1 by 10 by 10 so people can start there. You should tell people you can see who oh, that's a good idea. Although it is disingenuous to say who can see. If I were to say, guys, I can see it when you like the video. But you can, I think you can on Instagram, but you can't on YouTube. You're paying for photographers and VAs trying to scale your store while you're getting your butt kicked at your day job. Wow. So, Vicky, hiring people is really hard. So give yourself some credit. Don't beat yourself up over that. It's very hard to maintain good quality people unless the task is really repetitive. Each time you add a layer of complexity to the job, you're requiring your person to be creative, and that kills it. That's why the people who are really successful usually only have one category, so their staff can get really good at it. And they just accept a lower margin and just sell all in the same category. There's a guy in my Patreon group that's trying to make 200 grand only selling in one category of used clothing, right? But in order to do that, he needs something like 5,000 listings, and he's only like 70% of the way there. But the revenue does trend that way, and most people don't want to put in those hours, so they're not going to get good enough at his category of used clothing to be able to catch him, because most people sell in button downs, pearl snap. They sell like every different kind of shirt, but he's only selling one kind of thing. Do I write off my car for reselling? Not really, because I'm shooting for 100% online arbitrage. Best course to get started with Amazon? Ooh, email me and I'll send you a couple of ideas. But the best course to get started with Amazon is the one given by Amazon themselves. And Amazon Seller Central, go in there and read the read the user agreement and spend time in the Amazon forums. Do that before buying a course, because it's better to understand which model that you want to do first, whether it be wholesale or books. Don't just randomly buy courses because it may not be what you want to do. Hula, thank you for the comment. Let's see. Liquidation just said you mainly do StockX and GOAT and eBay. Awesome. Those are great. StockX is wonderful. Let's see. What is my number one eBay reseller advice? My number one eBay reseller advice is spend most of your time sourcing. And I know it's getting old. I've said that like 9 times this video. Yuri's asking, when is it time to buy a store on eBay? Oh, this is a good question. You would want to buy a store on eBay when you need that age. So, okay, as an example, there's a gentleman who was selling hats that reached out to me that wanted to, he wanted to basically scale this gigantic eBay business, and his account got suspended because it was too new. So even though he had no negative feedback, perfect metrics, it got suspended, not permanently, but he got a temporary restriction while eBay investigated it. For him, it would make sense to buy an eBay account that already has some traction, so that's less likely to happen. That's why King of E-commerce in Los Angeles, he was he was spending like $200 to buy people's identity. So like, you set up an eBay account under your name, and I'll transfer it to my FEIN, because like, I'm sorry. He was having people open up a new eBay account for him if they had the experience, because they can link it based on, like, for example, if you have one old account and then you open up a new account, they can link it together. It's just sort of like your personal history on eBay. He was paying people for their identity so that he could get that older aged account. Each eBay account was doing $100,000 per month. And there's like weird restrictions that happen. Also, if you plan on having a store that does millions and millions of dollars, you don't want to have all of your stuff in one store. That's very risky. Wes is saying, do I recommend OA or dropshipping as my new go-to? Okay, if you have a lot of money and you want to play the long game, I recommend dropshipping. Okay, because the power of selling brand new products between different sites is unreal. I just don't know how to do that. That's very challenging to learn how to properly do it, because here's the thing. You make a few mistakes and those accounts get banned. eBay does, and Amazon, all these sites, they don't like dropshippers. But being able to do that is really cool because you're not using any of your own money, right? You're just arbitraging the sale from a different website. But OA is the way I'm doing it. I'm buying the item to physically resell, which I think is the future. And you can do it anywhere in the country. So if you live not in California or New York or the expensive areas, you have cheap rent. It's a really fantastic model. Shazad is saying, people don't want to put in the work. Dude. So my buddy Prince, he was selling GoPros, and we took it down. We had a video that had like 50,000 views where he was explaining what he was doing with his replenishable game. So he was like, okay, I went on the AliExpress. I was selling GoPros because they're really popular. I was looking at all the popular bundles. I picked the best one, figured it out a little bit, then made my own custom one, went all the way to the manufacturer, asked them to make me a custom bundle, had it sent to me. So we laid out the instructions, which is basically that simple. There's like 100 people who tried to copy him and nobody was able to do it because it takes a long time to get that supplier to trust you. So they were like emailing this person, hey, can you give me the same deal as Prince? And like, that doesn't work, obviously. Maya's saying Amazon seller videos are the best tutorials. I 100% agree with that. The best Amazon content is from Amazon themselves. Patty B says the best advice is know your numbers. I agree. Guys, if you guys are just arriving, this video is about why do you resell? Is it for extra money, increase your savings, pay off your debt? Let me know in the chat why you're reselling so I can make more relevant content. Whoa, sorry, a lot of comments. Oh, this is actually interesting. How do I resell when my car is broken? You're going to have to learn a lot of online arbitrage because I'm trying to not use my car at all. The only reason I would want a car, like, okay, I'll be completely transparent. I want to get a Model S to rent out so I can have one for free just so I can play with it. I actually don't need a car. I'm totally happy with my Prius, but I'm trying to not do any... I would like, because I live in Oakland, I would like to walk to my warehouse where stuff is arriving, right? Package it up, either send it into Amazon or just stock it in my store. I don't want to use my car at all. Driving around is ridiculously inefficient. Eat, Sleep, Amazon. Hey, what's up? Oh, he's saying hi to Jody. Oh, wow. Jody said that without a car, it's been a disaster for his reselling. Yes, so... The highest profit margin things are always going to be yard sales and garage sales. That's really hard without a car, to be honest. Is the new Apple iPhone 11 good enough to take pictures? Yes. I think, to be completely honest, an iPhone 6 is good enough to take photos for Amazon. You want to download photo editing software if you don't have a light box, but honestly, you should have a light box if you're selling on e-commerce. They're like less than $100. Don't buy an iPhone app, or don't buy an iPhone 11 for $1,300. You can get a $200 phone and a $100 light box and take perfect photos. DFW Kicks is saying OA is the wave. Yeah, it's going to become harder and harder, but that's why I like pre-owned online arbitrage. That's the most powerful in my opinion because it requires some skill. A robot's not going to know that this item is undervalued as well as somebody who's trained. Um, do not drop ship on Amazon. This is against terms of service. Absolutely. What I would recommend is drop shipping directly from a proper company. That's not easy to set up, but again, nothing worthwhile is easy to set up. How many times a week at the bins is good? However, less than you can list, ideally. Okay, I'm going to give you some advice without knowing you too well, which is I'm going to recommend 2 days at the bins, 5 days processing it. Kevin's over 40 and not offended. Yeah, see, when I say that once you're over 40, it's a wrap, to someone who hasn't done a good job as an older person, it's going to trigger them into wanting to get their ass in gear. Just got demonetized because I said the word ass. But whatever. How would you find a buyer to sell your aged eBay account to? The dropshipping company that I'm working with is buying them. So just email me, chris@dailyrefinement.com. And if it's over a year old, I'm going to have to get a better matrix for how much they pay. It depends on how old your store is. Vicky wants to get the 4,000 thrifted clothings and shoes. I recommend not reselling clothing unless you... Man, that is a really hard thing to say. It's so easy to sell clothing is the reason why I don't recommend it. You have to sell clothing that's harder to get. Let's just leave it at that. Oh, you want to get to 4,000 before you feel comfortable quitting your job. I can't recommend quitting your job, especially in the clothing category, especially one-off. It's too risky. What can happen with 4,000 listings is sometimes you don't feel good and you don't work for 2 weeks and all your listings get super stale. Stuff starts not selling. You start panicking. That's scary. I'd rather you have a smaller store. Trust me, as a former 10K on the Bay, I'd rather be at 2,000 really tight listings. Drop shipping is good as long as the supplier has the product. Exactly. Bill, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Let's see. Sorry, I'm missing some of the comments. Some of the apps have sales tax. Agreed. It's getting harder and harder. Somebody's talking about Turo. I do have a course on Get Around Turo. I probably should talk about it more, but that's been awesome. For me, I haven't had a car payment I've had no transportation costs for 2 years now because of Get Around in Turo. And that money has really added up because I don't spend money on that part. James is a senior and needs extra money and you don't mind working. Yes. I'm finding that younger people are not lazier. It's just they've become comfortable with how much easier it is to earn money. If you are like 15 years old and you do $10,000 a month in sales online, which is not uncommon, imagine how stupid other jobs look to you when like you don't even have a car yet and you're making more money than your parents. Like that has happened before on my YouTube channel. So it just happens when you grow up now, sometimes money comes in really quick waves. Like for example, your parents did well. That, like saying no to your kids when you can actually afford it has a different effect than saying no to your kids because you can't afford it. Like it's going to affect your kids differently. Let's see. First goal is more money to invest. Yes, that's the number 2 reason. Number 1 reason is more spending money, which is kind of sad. Number 2 is to increase savings for investment. Do I mainly use TA or something of the like? Oh, I don't use tactical arbitrage because, okay, to be completely frank, I'm mainly reselling on eBay again. So there are certain categories that I'm looking for where a broken or used product is popping up over and over again, and I'm just buying those items, and my list of those items is getting longer and longer and longer. One example is like Mont Blanc pens. I'm picking up those pens when they're undervalued by $50 or more. That's sort of my rule. So my virtual assistant finds a Mont Blanc that's more than $50 underpriced. Usually we pick it up, depending on how much it is. Okay, guys, this is really important. First, smash the like button. Second, once you determine your goal, so I am going to offer some coachings right now. So this is what you guys should do. I'm going to explain this in tomorrow's video. You're going to determine a goal. How much money do you want to make each month? 1,000, 2,000, whatever. My personal goal is 4,000. Okay, so $4,000 a week. Break it down into how many items of how much per profit per item. So $20 profit per item is my goal. So that's 200 items. Okay, so now we know. This is the destination for the GPS. How do I do that? Come up with 1 to 4 things that do that. So the first thing is I need to be able to list 200 items a week. First thing is I need to be able to list 200 items a week. I already know how to do that. On November 1st, I'm going to live stream that in November so people can see actually doing that, right? And I'm going to list those all in my public store so people can see, ideally, $16,000 worth of profit being listed live. Okay, step 1, you need to know how to list it. If you don't know how to list it, buy my reseller field guide for $35 and it goes over all the steps. Or for free, you can just watch YouTube videos. Number 2, I need the sourcing, right? So I need 40 items 5 days a week to come to me. I have a package receiving service. So I need virtual assistants or local scouts to bring an average of 40 items to me, right? So that is second step. Actually, that's probably more than just one step because it's both local people and VAs. That step of supply needs to come in and I need to know how to process it. Finally, the third pillar or fourth pillar, depending on how you look at it, is I need a really good buy list. Okay, so I just hired my friend Jack to help me train a VA to do this. What I'm training this VA to do is do market research for me, identify stuff that has a spread. And the spread for me is basically $50 to $60. And let's see, who mentioned that? DFW Kicks mentioned that sales tax is now kicked in for most sites. That's why it's $50 to $60 instead of $40 to $50 because of the sales tax. So because I live in California, it's 10% sales tax. So of the 1 billion listings on eBay, I need to find 40 that are undervalued 5 days a week. So break it down your goal like that so you understand where to go. Wow, Ty's saying 10 million in the bank. That's awesome. Let's see here. What do I think about selling books? Love selling books. Sorry guys, I'm trying to answer every question. Yeah, it used to be 10K on the bit. You know what? There's been like all of my monikers in the past, all of them people have picked up. Like I wanted to be, one of my ideas was creating a eco-friendly brand for cats. So I was going to call it Eco Cat. Somebody like bought the domain. Somebody bought that for their eBay store. Like it doesn't really matter. Your name doesn't matter that much. Oh, awesome. Daniel's saying he recommends photography as a side hustle. Great idea. Photography, videography, incredible side hustles, more than $100 an hour. What is the best thing to sell? Things that have previously sold. Whenever you see someone on Poshmark with super high-end brands, when you check their sold, it's mostly cheap items. Yes, guys, 50% of eBay sales are like under $12 and like 90% are under $30. Guys, that's ridiculous. I don't know if you guys knew that. I only know that because all this dropshipping software is going crazy. And they basically put in the parameters of like, for example, let's say that you're selling from Walmart to eBay. If you type in more than $30, it eliminates like 900,000 products off of Walmart.com. So that just goes to show how crazy e-commerce is. It's mostly cheap items. And the stores that are doing really well right now are Ross, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. All the cheapy brands are doing really well right now. And I imagine that's going to continue to be the case when the recession finally hits. Reselling is freedom, plain and simple. What's up, Auction Professor? I am so bad at collaboration. Like, I apologize. I'm going to get back into it and figure out how to work some deals. Auction Professor has really good information, guys. If you guys are looking for someone that really understands niches, that's a really good channel. You want to look for, okay, so like the Auction Professor mentioned something in one of his videos, which is sell-through rate's not that important to him. That makes sense when you're selling really high margin items. If you are not spending a lot for the item, sell-through rate's not super important. If you're spending a lot, like for me, sometimes I spend 100 to make 20. I don't want to spend 100 to make 20 if I don't know the sell-through rate. Like it just depends on your model. And I never recommend spending that much money unless you really know what you're doing. Please do not spend $100 to make 20 when you're just getting started. What do I think about Jungle Scout and Helium 10? I like Helium 10. Heard great reviews. Jungle Scout's also great. Whichever one that you're more comfortable with. You're trying to decide between women's clothing, shoes, and electronics. I recommend shoes, then electronics, then women's clothing. All three of those work if you really know your game. Delilah doesn't understand selling books. Let's see. Opinion on multi-channel fulfillment. Great question, Oscar. Multi-channel fulfillment is awesome. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing. The more channels you have, the better the traffic coming in, right? You just have to be able to manage it. What is that company called? Sellbrite. Sellbrite, so far, I've heard there's the best reviews for brand new items on multiple websites. Shout out to my friend Ahmad. He is killing it on multiple platforms, and he's using Sellbrite. Vicky wishes she knew electronics. All you need to do to get good at something is just repetition. Your bread and butter items between $10 and $60. That totally makes sense. So I would say that for the majority of high-end sellers on eBay, their average selling price is under $20. For people who sell like the top eBay sellers. And then the top eBay sellers are also all companies. Below that, there are like mom and pop sellers and people who get a really good bang for buck. They're like in the $10 to $100 ASP range, depending on how many niches they understand. You could be like Greg Morris Cards. They do, 10,000 transactions a month at like $20 with perfect feedback. Those guys are amazing. If you want to look at Greg Morris Cards, I think they have a million feedback and 0 negative. That's an incredible seller. You would love to open a fulfillment center one day. That's cool, right? That's what my wife wants me to be involved in, is the transactional things, trucking, shipping, packing, because that kind of stuff is just really stable. We have she has an uncle or something that sells, he's in the distribution of like forks and knives and like makes like $200,000 a year just being involved with disposable forks and knives, because like millions and millions of dollars of that stuff sold every single day, I think. There's just a big market for that. Reselling is like buying stock, buy low or sell high. Yeah, I agree. So the two models I like are fast sell through, doesn't matter the margin, or pay low and wait. Those are the two models. That's why I think they're actually two different kinds of businesses. Like, one is more money management, and the other one is really being really good at picking. I'm actually using OBS now. I think Auction Professor might be doing OBS too. He might use StreamYard too. StreamYard's an excellent service. It's not very expensive, and it's really easy to use. I don't know how to do the overlays like right now. I think on the side you guys can see I'm asking why people resell. I don't know how to do that on StreamYard. Auction Professor is using Sellbrite as well. Jody is saying 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. I know 50% of people have $600 or less net worth. It wouldn't surprise me if 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck, but I hope it's not that high. That's scary. Trisha is saying use name checker to run name availability search on all platforms. Awesome tip. Thank you, Trisha. The most important thing to you is liking what you're selling. I used to think that, okay, but there are things I don't like to sell every day, and I've learned to like them. Track the category is smart when you're doing volume. Agreed. See, there's a person that lives in New York. I can't read their name, but they have 250 listings and they sold 150 last month. That's like the definition of a sniper. People who are picking very specific products, small store. There's a gentleman in my group that never has more than 250 items, and his goal is 20,000 per month. He spends 42 hours a week sourcing and 1 hour listing. It's like hardly any listing. He's just looking for deals. Polly has never sold on Amazon, only eBay. What do I recommend? Just start. Get your materials from Amazon.com and Seller Central for free, and just start selling stuff around the house. Sell books. Just learn get your repetitions in for sending shipments in. Slowly learn wholesale, or make your own products or manufacture. Amazon is a long game play. You can do the retail arbitrage game for Amazon, but it only scales to the amount of time that you have. Thanks, guys, for helping me answer the questions. You just subbed to Auction Professor. It wasn't an exact percentage. Oh, James says, how do I determine what books to sell? I forgot the minimum profit. It's been like a couple months since I've sold books. It's just if it earns enough money for the investment, that's all. I'm looking at books. Since I don't care about books, I'm only scanning based on rank. I just purchase depending on how long I think I'm going to get my money back versus how much I have to invest. So I think video game sourcing, Jack Weaver, has a really good tutorial on his Instagram for how he decides to sell books. And it just depends on how much capital you have. So obviously, a lot of books have a really high rank. Like if you get like Whole30, that book should sell as soon as you send it in, like literally the same day, right? But you might only make $2 on it. But there might be some textbooks that you can buy for 10 and sell for 120, but you have to wait until next semester. That you would know that from studying that niche. Alejandro Santos says 54% of people have less than 1K in the bank. I think that's correct because I've heard 50% of people have $600 net worth or less. Kelly says that she would sell skunks if they brought the money. I agree. It's all about the. It's funny, you learn to like things that you're really good at. Yeah, Seller Central University. Thank you. Yeah, Eat Sleep Amazon is saying that there's a lot of great free resources on the Amazon site. I recommend starting there. Try to save your money for inventory when you're just starting. That's why I made instead of having an expensive course, I made mine $35, and I still recommend you don't buy it and just learn for free. But you should certify yourself in reselling, which is just learn how to research solds, learn how to list an item, learn how to pack and ship stuff, learn how to get a little bit of community built in, because you need to have people that you can ask questions to. Just getting one FBA friend in your area that can sit with you and you buy them a steak dinner and they do a shipment with you, that's worth more than $1,000 course. Just a friend that can show you how to do it. Use Scout IQ for books. Thanks, Patty. Is anyone having issues with PayPal? Maybe. Auction versus buy it now. Auctions end at 80% of buy it now usually, but the money is quicker. So it depends on what kind of goods. I wouldn't sell rare goods. It's like, oh man, this is so hard to make generalizations. Some rare items use auctions, some don't. That's such a vague answer, but that's hard to answer. Did I see the new news about new Kelly Blue Book for pre-owned handbags? That's really cool. But there's a great market for that. eBay totally botched that. They had at one point eBay was like 90% of designer handbag sales. Now they've lost all of it to all these different sites. What's up, Christopher? You're appreciating my content. I appreciate it. I think that Gary Vee I'm actually starting to think there's some things that he's really wrong on. Like, I just saw Gary Vee 2 weeks ago with my friend Prince. He looks horrible. Like, he is not taking care of himself. That guy works so much. You don't need to work that much. I think that type of, he needs to show some better balance, because he's now moving off the hustle kick to the happiness kick. If you guys have been following Gary Vee, he used to be like, hustle your face off, work your entire 20s. You want to make it? Shut up and just don't watch Netflix and just crush it. Now he's like, if you want to be happy making $30,000 a year, do it. So he's kind of backing off and backtracking, but dude, if I'm going to follow a guru based on how they look, I would much rather follow Grant Cardone, even though his advice is questionable. he looks great. That guy just is like on top of the world, takes really good care of himself. And he just looks so happy compared to Gary Vee. So what is my favorite thing to resell? I like selling rare, unique things. Like I just sold a statue of the Colosseum here in Oakland. And the Colosseum is the Raiders are moving to Las Vegas. So it's becoming all the memorabilia for the Oakland Coliseum stuff is becoming more valuable. That's more interesting to me. I like shoes that have a history. I like shoes because I personally enjoy them. It's from living in New York for a while where people don't have cars. They invest a lot more money in fashion because they don't have a car. So I just enjoy that. You're having Jack on your channel on Saturday. Awesome. Yeah, Jack is awesome. I love Jack. I want Jack to come. Jack actually made it. Jack stayed on this couch right here for 2 weeks, and it kind of pissed off my wife. But I already agreed to that before we got married. Now I have a limit of 3 days for friends to come visit me. So Jack needs to return to the States every 90 days because of his visa. So yeah, he can only stay with me for a couple days. You're having a lot of issues with PayPal. I don't know enough details about your situation, but you can email me. You love DVD VCR combo units the most. Hey, maybe that's a good idea. People put in the chat, what is the thing you like selling the most? For me, I like selling stuff. Okay, I know what category it is. Americana. I like selling Americana the most. It's not something that I want to do for a living, but I like doing it for fun. Americana is super dope. I'm actually very, very proud of being an American. No, I didn't buy the coin. When I emailed the guy that I wanted to meet him at a coin shop, he disappeared. So we didn't buy that. How do I register as a bit? Oh yeah, my wife was super into the coin. She's like, okay, if the coin is legit, let's do it. It's easy money. Just have the auction house verify it's a legit coin. If they handle the sale, let's give them the money. The guy wanted 40 grand for a coin worth 75 to 90. So this is the advice I got from everybody. Meet somebody at a coin shop, go to a second coin shop, have the coin reappraised. So usually they go through the process of being graded. So basically I would get 2 people to verify that the coin is legit, send it in to be regraded, have it go directly from the grader to the auction house. And the guy wouldn't do that. But if that was the case, she was like, let's bridge that deal right now. Because if there's only 3, the research on the coin said there was only 3 ever of that coin, and that one was the nicest. So if it was actually the coin in the auction, we were going to do it, but the guy didn't want to actually meet at a coin shop. So no, we didn't get it. How do you register as a business? Talk to a CPA. Talk to a CPA. Do I have a Discord chat room? Yes. I'm actually going to give it out right now without charging people. Actually, no, I'm not. Email me and I'll send you the link. I will let you in for free, but I don't want to announce it because I do think that I want people to invest something before they get into the group, so there's no stupid people in there. So either email me or you can go on to Patreon and buy it. Lifetime access is $12. What happens when money from PayPal to the bank is lost? That should never happen. I have never even checked that. I don't think that happens. That should probably never happen, where you withdraw $100 from PayPal and it doesn't get to your bank. I don't even think that can happen. That scares me to even think about that. Let's see here. Gary Vee looks like he's 70. Dude, in person, Gary Vee looks so old. Man, he does not look good for his age. Oh, Crypto, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Much appreciated. What do I think of Scoutly? Oh, I don't know about any scams. That's not really like what my channel is about, but I just try to stay away from all of that and stick with what works. So buy low, sell high always works. Get rich quick stuff is almost always a scam. You like selling high-end clothing. I agree. High-end clothing is fantastic. Yeah, I really, really like coins and currency. It also has a lower final value fee. It's just you got to know what you're doing. And that's why my wife was like, let's just have it graded by somebody else. And we've dealt with an auction house before one time, and it was a good experience. So if all we have to do is wait for the money, she's like, let's do it. If we have to, she's not like a big hustle fan. She'd rather me set up systems and be like a more of a business person than like a side hustling. She really likes me focusing on online arbitrage and not driving around from store to store to store. She went with me and she's like, how much money are we losing waiting in line? I'm like, a lot, especially together. So she wants me to train people to do that. Don, that's right. Don is the man. Let's see. You say clothes are hard to sell. Kelly, it's actually not that cut and dry. If something is brand new and it has a UPC code, that's really easy to sell. Clothing is still easy to sell. It's just harder than something that's brand new that you can just use the stock photo for. There are certain things where you can use the stock photo, like a brand new iPhone. If you have a brand new iPhone that's sealed, you don't need to take a picture of it. That's obviously easier than selling a pair of Levi's with a mustard stain on it. That takes more skill. Yeah, if you guys are still around, help me smash the like button. 240 people watching. That's awesome. Let's see. Squarespace has the ability to, yeah, Shopify as well. You can you can list your items on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and your own website, Amazon, and your own website. There's tons of plugins to do that. But again, most e-commerce sellers that I know that make a great living don't necessarily use their own platform. But the people who sell individual items, like I'm sure you guys have seen this. There's a little device you can put on your back that changes your posture. Right now, that person is spending like $100,000 a month on advertising. So that advertisement is everywhere. It's all over Facebook. It's all over Instagram. To me, that makes sense to open a Shopify store so you don't have to pay for the marketing cost of eBay or Amazon. You're just paying for the advertising for people to go check it out, watch the video, they buy it. That makes sense to me. If you're selling random goods, I don't know how you get the ad. I don't know how you get the person off Facebook into your garage sale store. It doesn't make sense to me. Oh yeah, Auction Professor is saying the lowest final value fee is guitars. There's a long story with that. There's a lot. There's been two large guitar sellers that I've met in person. That's a crazy category. I don't know how. I mean, it's very challenging to ship a guitar. There's a lot of nuances in that category. Jody, I think, you know what? I've been involved with one, I was involved with one multi-level marketing thing when I was first in college. That's when, I'm not that old, but kind of old, when PDAs are popular. I don't even know how to explain what that is to a younger person. It's like, how would you guys describe a PDA? It's like a cell phone with no service. It's like a device that you're supposed to type stuff into a keyboard. During that time, it was really popular. I think I was like 17. I joined a multi-level marketing thing that was like explaining to older people how to use a PDA. I don't even think that category exists anymore. I don't know what it stands for. Personal desktop assistant. What does PDA stand for? It's let's see. Then the company, the device was called the Trio. Maybe it was Palm Pilots. The Palm Trio, I think, was the device I was selling with that multi-level marketing. It did not work. Athletic wear is great. I agree. Athletic wear sells super well. Auction Professor has given some good answers in the chat if you guys are checking it out. It's kind of like a pager. Not really, because there's a screen. You found 2 Camo Shark Bape hoodies yesterday. Awesome. That's awesome. But you find that a lot of, it's like, okay, I think that for a regular person, they usually don't donate stuff worth more than $30. And if they do, then it's your job as a reseller to find it. But there's a different threshold. For rich people. I think rich people donate stuff under $500. But regular people will just donate stuff $30 and under. But sometimes you run into a lot where every single item is really expensive, even at Goodwill. Oh yeah, definitely. You can. The Boxery is a great company that will make custom supplies. Custom supplies is a great way to brand, but again, you want to have a brand to brand, right? You want to be like Patty's Petunias, right? Then it makes sense to send some packaging that's related to that. But if it's Patty's Emporium of Random Finds, don't do marketing for that. No one's going to come back to your store. Personal data assistant, thank you. Nate had 2 of those. Yeah, those sold like crazy. Those were selling for $500 on eBay back in the day. Personal data assistant, thank you. You just sold your old. That's amazing. How recently did you sell your old Palm Pilot? Because I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I don't think younger people know what those are. Woody says it's personal digital assistant, not data. So you want to, I know, right? I like the shark hoodies, the ones that zip all the way up and the teeth are on your face. Very cool. Yeah, Maya is saying kitchen and cooking devices have the fastest turnover. No question. Home goods, I think, just passed clothing as the most number of items sold on eBay. But you have to understand the volume is usually scary, right? If there's a lot of things sold, it usually means the profit's low. But again, it means it's going to sell fast. Pretty much every single Cuisinart or KitchenAid device I find, those sell really fast. Breville, those toaster ovens sell really fast. Toaster ovens are something that people don't take with them when they travel. So like there's a lot of them at the thrift store. Also, there's not a lot of money in bread makers, but if you knew how to do that, there's like a bajillion bread makers where I live. It's like the most donated home good. Also, I don't know if anybody knows, I could Google this, but can you make bread in a toaster oven? That would be really cool. Higher tax write-off, true. Wow, this is a really long video. Sorry, guys, but there's a lot of questions. Any market for rusty old tools? You lost your husband. Sorry to hear that. Yes, there's definitely a market for tools. The rust part, I don't think would add to the value necessarily. Sometimes rust is like a patina finish, but just look it up. Let's see. Oh, Patty says Japanese bread makers are money. I find rice cookers, those sell pretty well. You found a Toomey leather backpack for $35 and sold for $250. Banging. After pagers and before BlackBerry? Yeah, I know. We're still on this PDA thing. What was my opinion on Joe Lister and Listing Mirror? I'm a fan of all the cross-posting tools. Joe Lister, I've heard people have great success with, but the one that has the most success that I've heard of personally is Sellbrite. Awesome. 100 likes. Thanks, everybody. The paddles from bread makers and the internal bins. Thanks, Ty, for the pro tip. I know that microwave plates sell really well, too. Oh, the yeast needs to rise. Dang. All right. I'm still going to try making bread in my toaster oven. Dang. So the auction professor, Don, says he knows somebody who just sells the parts from bread makers. I imagine a bread maker is something that would break pretty often. But all right, guys. Got to roll. Time for dinner. Everyone have a great night, and I'll see you guys next time.